Hi everyone, James here. This is update number 4 of the 1/35th scale Takom King Tiger. So steps 51, 52, 53 and 54 have been assembled. That is the start of the Porsche turret. Adding the top and the rear pieces for the turret, and then adding more components inside. Adding the, I think it's called the Commander's Cupola, the vision slits, if you like. I did leave out the clear parts, as I'm not sure if they're clear or they're clear green, as in the paints that I've got. And then 53, adding the rear escape hatch, building that up, and then adding more sub-assemblies behind the hatch, and then adding that on in 54, and adding more, I guess, hatches and components on top of the turret. I did decide to leave off the brackets for the spare track on the side of the turret, as I didn't want to clutter it too much. So just look at the progress on that. And this is the progress. The lifting eyelets have been added on, the various hatches, and the rear escape hatch, and inside just the rear escape hatch parts, more components inside. So that's the start of the turret. Okay, so going through and then realising there's a step missing for the tracks, and looked in the box, and there's this correction sheet for the tracks. So you get this this jig. You put the driver sprocket and the idler onto this jig, and then you build the individual track pieces around this. And what I did was, this was all, the rear idler sprocket was already glued in place on the lower hull of the tank, but I did manage to release this from the lower hull and place it on there. So I built it around this jig up to about here, and then the rest I moulded around the idler on the lower hull itself. So this is the progress of the tracks. There's the tracks. This sprocket I did manage to pull it off the lower hull, but this idler wheel I couldn't, so I built this half onto the tank and this half on the jig itself. Just a little point out there to not, if you're building this, not to glue these sprockets and idler wheels onto the tank and to leave them off, as you'll have a job trying to get the right position and the right sag of the track. And the other side. Okay, still carrying on with turret assembly, now moving on into the inside with steps 55, adding the hatch mechanisms. There's two options: you can have it in the closed position or the open position. Moving on to steps 56, it's the commander's vision slit, adding all the individual covers on there, and attaching the machine gun mount. I am going to leave the track pieces off, as I said previously. I don't want to clutter it up too much. Moving on to 57, making the one of the hatches with all individual parts and building it up as a single hatch, and I've chose to model it in the open position, and again adding track and the attachment points. I'm going to leave them off as well. That's for the other side. And then moving over 59, 60 and 61 is the start of the assembly of the main weapon, and then starting to build the internal parts up inside the turret. I'll show the progress so far. So first off is the turret with the addition of the two hatches for the commander, the external machine gun mount. There's the vision slit hoods or covers, the hatch positioned open, it's been added. Inside there was a few parts here, here and here also. It's the turret, and then the start of the main weapon with all the traverse and height mechanism starting to take shape. So far steps 61